Peace and blessings. What's good? It's your boy Seven Englewood Zone right now in your zone, and I'm kind of reporting you from a different location. So I'm reporting to you from a different location today, and don't worry, the rest of the show is not going to look like this. But I wanted to quickly tell you guys that one, I lost my voice, and two, the show must go on, and three, I'm in somebody's dark continent full of black people, so no telling where that could be, right? Anyway, but at the same time, I'm thankful that I'm here, and I'm really hopeful that maybe my own little namesake will be able to take his first steps here on the motherland. So fingers crossed. In the meantime, in between time, show must go on. So let's go.
What is good? What is good? Ladies and gentlemen, I am Seven Blackman, and this is the Blackman Show, a place where we can dissect the news with a little bit of 7 cents. So make sure you hit that like button and tell the YouTube guys that I am worthy. But with that said, let's get it. So the word for the day is preclude. It's got to be the word for the day, which means like to make something impossible or to prevent something from happening, right? So that's the word for the day. So I was just like, man, we gotta call the thing what it is and use the words as they're actually given to us, and not just make up words and say, well, I use the word that means shiny and beautiful. Like, what? So there's been a major sex trafficking case taking place in South Carolina. It's been languishing in the court systems for the past 4 years. That's right. Jason Roger Pope, also known as DJ Kid, because he loves the kids. No, seriously, he loves the kids. Watch your kids. As part of a plea deal with prosecutors, confessed to 5 counts of felony sexual assault, 5 counts of sex trafficking of a minor, 5 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor, and 3 more counts of sexual conduct. We're saying that he only got the 5, and the 3. All right. That don't add up to 700. You would expect a man like this to get, 30 years to life. You're doing all this with all these young black women. And as a matter of fact, 30 years would be the minimum, I would think, of what you would get. But I'd be absolutely wrong. So here's what happened. He got sentenced to 19 years in prison, which was a far cry from the 30 that he was facing, and which really to me is a slap in the face when you consider the 693 black women, mostly underage, who he admitted to being with between the years of 2017 and 2019, infecting at least one of those young ladies with HIV. Now, I'm old enough to remember when HIV was considered a death sentence. There were people who were being prosecuted with attempted murder. That was a real thing. That actually happened. We had women, a woman who in Chicago who was going on from school to school talking about how she's gonna die. I won't be here in the next couple of years. Thankfully, she's still alive. But she was going around saying, I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be dead. They don't have a cure for this. This is my fault. This is my fault. You need to be smart. Doing all that, scared straight for HIV, basically. And I guess doing a pretty good job of it. Or maybe I don't know. But HIV was a pretty serious thing, right? Now, I get it. Nowadays, people are living with it, and, Magic's still alive, and, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Medications are a whole lot better, so they can roll out the cure and say, look, we've had some breakthrough technology in the development of this drug, even though the drug's been out for 15, 20 years. We ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about how long they had the cure. Anyway, I'm just saying, there was a time when having HIV or transmitting it to someone was considered a death sentence, right? And this man admitted that he gave it to one of the girls, underage girls, and 692 other women potentially could have got it from him as well. And he only got 19 years. And that ain't all. So with last year's guilty confession, in addition to the deal that I alluded to earlier, he only ends up with a 19-year conviction. Don't worry, that also comes with a very strict 10 years of probation following that. So if he were to violate that probation at any point, he be right back to prison. So if he contacts any of those young ladies that he has already had the contact with, then I guess he runs the risk of going all the way back to, finish out his time inside. One can only hope. Now, on top of that, he will also have to register as a sexual offender, and there will be a permanent restraining order in place for him to keep his distance from all of his 693 plus victims. And so the way that he would go about getting these young ladies was just like a lot of guys nowadays, just trying to holler at the young ladies on social media. Hey, let me hit you up in the DM. It goes down in the DM. You dig? So hollers at the young ladies in the DM, starts doing the grooming, getting his Drake on. I'm sorry, but starts getting his Drake on, allegedly getting his Drake on. And once he gets you, then he got you. I mean, there were some ladies that he was holding hostage. I mean, there were some women who were confined to rooms and forced to perform sexual acts every time he came into the room, right? None of that deserves more than just 19 years. How much time did R. Kelly get? I'm just curious. R. Kelly got 20 years. He got 20 years. And he didn't have 700 victims. So R. Kelly gets 20 years and this man gets 19? 700. I don't know. I'm not saying this is an apples to apples thing. I get it. R. Kelly had a different setup. His Drake shot a little bit different than this other dude's Draco. I'm just saying. But I mean, he's forcing these women to perform sexual acts with the intent to extort and threaten them. Now, I mean, the man was arrested in 2020, right? He's been sitting in court. I was sitting in jail with no bond for the past 3+ years, just awaiting trial and sentencing. So he finally pleads guilty in August of 2023, right? And that's when he's given the 19-year sentencing. And I think those other years were gonna go towards the time that he's already been convicted of. So now he only has 16 years to go, I believe. So I don't know. It just seems like a weird and raw deal that this man could get, especially when you consider some of the details. Let's get into those. So initially, Mr. Pope was indicted on 14 charges, those including criminal sexual misconduct, promoting prostitution, human trafficking, kidnapping, and other offenses. Now, I remember when this first came out, I was expecting that the trial was going to come out. We're going to hear about this white dude going after all these sisters in the down south, and I'm just expecting parents to come out, the woodwork, and it's going to be this huge thing. Only for it all to end very flatly, apparently, because the court kept allowing them to have all these continuations upon continuations upon continuations. The defense was the side that Pope was on. So it got to the point where the defense wanted a psychiatric evaluation of DJ Pope or DJ Kid. I'm sorry. So they do that and find out that this dude is on the spectrum for autism, right? So psychiatric expert evaluates him and diagnoses him with autism. So his lawyers have no choice but to try to aim for a mistrial because, well, he can't. He's too incompetent to stand trial. You see, Your Honor, he's competent enough to snatch it from these 700 women, but not competent enough to stand trial because he didn't know what he was doing. He's a kid in a grown man's body. He don't know what he's doing, y'all. Do these excuses work when the person doesn't have? When the person has melanin? I'm just curious because I don't see these excuses working for melanated people because it's amazing to me how well people are able to see, you see, when a person has melanin and they use some of these same excuses because that's what these are. These are absolutely excuses. So it's just funny. It's funny to me. It's really funny how he's able to do that. I digress. So you got a defense saying that he is incompetent, and even some of them saying crazy shit like he should be set free. But then, thankfully, the prosecution also had their own psychiatric evaluation done, and they were like, no, this dude is competent enough and he can stand trial. What the hell are you talking about? But before the trial was even set to begin, he pleads guilty. No trial. Plea bargain. 19 years. Sorry, guys. And so with this 19 years that he gets, I'm just curious, what about the victims? Seriously, what about the victims? What does it take for black women to be taken seriously? I'm asking that for myself as well as for mankind, the judiciary system that we have. Like, where are black women to be taken seriously, if not even in the legal sense? You see what I'm saying? Like, what do we need to do to get 700 black girls the same kind of justice that one Carolyn Bryant Donham got? And if you know who that is, you know what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, hell, she admitted that she lied, and still nobody came for her or any of the men who were responsible for Emmett Till's death. I'm just saying. So what does it take for black women to get that sort of treatment or that sort of response for what takes place to them? Now, I get it. Everybody lies. People can lie. Women lie. Men lie. You know, whatever. People can lie, so you don't want to be just running off on the plug and be like, oh, man, boy cried wolf, or girl cried wolf in this case. Oh, man, no, I'm running off on the plug and I'm looking stupid. Sure, I get that. But I just wonder why the honor of some is protected more than others. That's really what I'm trying to get at. Why does it seem that we are, in some instances, precluded from, see, there's that word again. Why are we precluded from getting that same sort of justice, representation, and or just thought, just being thought about in the sense that, like, the prosecution is sitting there saying that this man is autistic. He has the mind of a 12-year-old and he can't stand trial. Do you know how many grown women act like 12-year-olds who are still collecting child support and alimony from their husbands? Do you know? What the hell are we talking about? If that's the case, then everybody's autistic. Good man. Anyway, I would just say, so please let me know your thoughts on this one down in those comments, because I seriously cannot. And with that said, this has been The Blackman Show. Thank you all for joining us once again. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like, hit the subscribe, and share this with your peeps. For updates and behind the scenes footage, you can follow me on all the socials. You know what they are. And if you want to support the channel, please feel free to check out our merch store. It's justthechannel.com. Now, until next time, I will do my best to keep y'all informed in the meantime, in between time. But until then, we'll see you in the next one. Peace. And I'm out.